The Nightbeat starts right now.
A vote that could increase your electric bill only days away. Some are asking, why can't CPS Energy executives take a pay cut instead? We take a look into that coming up. Plus,
it's the last thing that you expect to hear about, but neighbors in this southeast community in shock after finding out that two toddlers were found tied up alone in a home. That's coming up.
And hundreds of nurses are coming in to help Bexar County hospitals, but city and county leaders admit it's not enough. Are there enough nurses going into the field? We're going to take a look into what our local universities are experiencing. But first, it is your money. But CPS Energy says they need a little more of it, about $5 more on average per month.
But we know that some customers are saying not so fast. A lot of them were left in the dark during last February's winter storm, despite paying their bills. So they're asking why utility leaders don't get their pay cut instead. The Night Team's Patty Santos talks to a business expert who says that would be a sign of goodwill.
This list outlines how much the 41 leaders at CPS Energy were making in April 2021. The lowest paid $155,000 to the highest paid, former CEO Paula Gold-Williams, nearly $500,000 annually. There's been a shakeup within the utilities since then. In an interview with Councilman Clayton Perry, CPS Energy interim president and CEO Rudy Garza says the 3.85% rate increase will not pay for executives or directors, but will benefit employees.
We've got to remain competitive, so how we structure our compensation has to look at who we're competing with.
He's referring to linemen, gas technicians, engineers, and those in the front line that help keep energy flowing. The proposed rate increase expected to generate about $73 million. Funds set to be needed to support infrastructure and technology upgrades.
There's also the cyber risk that can happen any day of the week that we also have to protect ourselves against. And a lot of these dollars are going towards, technology that will help us stay ahead of those bad actors.
And to keep up with the company's growth and a $418 million bill in fuel costs from February's winter storm over the next 25 years.
CPS is going through a lot of changes right now that in terms of their leadership and in terms of their leadership team. And I think we're all a little bit nervous about what the grid's going to look like for this next spring.
Customers wonder why CPS Energy isn't cutting off salaries and bonuses for those in the leadership of the company. St. Mary's University professor Cody Cox says it would be a sign of solidarity, but wouldn't fix the budget problems.
Oftentimes CEOs are paid through stock options and the worth of the organization. So when there's no way to cut that exactly to fix a budget deficit.
He says some experts would agree it's time to adopt a more fair compensation strategy for leaders of major companies.
It's something that a lot of researchers would argue is a problem, that CEO salaries are so large compared to, I should say compensation is so much greater than employees. And so it can lead to CEOs being motivated for short-term benefits.
KSAT reached out to CPS Energy to see if any top leaders expect to cut their pay, but we have not heard back.
And today, the CPS Energy Board of Trustees approved the rate increase request, but it is not a done deal yet. Later this week, San Antonio City Council will take up the issue. If it goes through, the utility could still ask for another increase later down the road. Steve.
Thank you, Patty. He was the first to be convicted of murder in 2022. And tonight, Edison Caraman has learned he will face 33 years in prison for killing his cousin. A jury sealed his fate after learning that Caraman killed Christopher Caraman in March of 2020. Prosecutors spoke about a family feud that turned deadly. Some family members offered forgiveness during today's hearing. Christopher Caraman's mother made it a point to say Edison didn't show any remorse or even apologize for the murder. Edison Caraman must serve half of his sentence before he's eligible for parole. A road rage shooting on the side of Highway 281. It's near the Pearl. Police questioning a person involved in this shooting that officers say began when a black pickup hit a car. When the two drivers pulled over and got out, there was an argument before police say the driver of the pickup shot the other driver. That victim was taken to the hospital.
And next, we have a story that's going to make you hug your kids just a little bit tighter. People in a southeast San Antonio neighborhood are outraged tonight after finding out that two toddlers were left tied up while home alone.
It was eerily quiet along Bailey and Piedmont Avenue Monday afternoon, about 24 hours after neighbors got shocking news.
That's not right. That's not right at all.
That 2 children, who police describe as toddlers, were left alone in a home while tied up. San Antonio police showed up after someone called 911.
God knows how long they were tied there. I mean, I don't know if they were crying.
None of the neighbors that we spoke with were comfortable revealing their identities on camera, but they all said they were concerned about these children, and they're hoping that now they'll be able to find a safe place to live.
Understandably, investigators won't reveal where the kids are right now, but Child Services confirms they were taken to a hospital to be checked out yesterday. Child Services also tells KSAT they found a 3rd child who was believed to be in the home with another relative. It's also unclear where that child is tonight. While police and Child Protective Investigations looks into what happened, neighbors are just asking one question: why?
It's so disappointing. I mean, I don't. It's hate. It's just so hateful to know that parents would actually do that, especially to a toddler, a 2 or 3-year-old.
I hope that they're in good condition, and I hope they get, I mean, if it goes to a group home or something, I hope it's something better than what, I mean, anything's going to be better than that.
Now, we don't know who was supposed to be with the kids, whether that was a parent or guardian. Of course, we're going to continue to ask questions and let you know when we get an update from police.
Let's turn to the pandemic now. The surge not over, not by a long shot. Take a look at the rise in COVID-19 patients in our local hospitals. 200, a little bit more than that on Christmas Day. That number now 815. 186 people in the intensive care unit tonight. 65 are on ventilators, helping them breathe. Our risk level continues to be in the severe category. Another 4,000 cases were confirmed today, along with 3 more deaths, bringing us closer to the grim milestone of 5,000 deaths since the pandemic began. COVID-19 continues to crush staffing in several businesses. Schools also not immune. Hundreds of staff called in sick amid this latest surge in Omicron cases. Local teachers unions continue to advocate for their members. One of those unions led San Antonio ISD to require mask wearing despite a statewide ban. The SAISD Teachers Union also in favor of going back to virtual learning, but there's a problem. The state of Texas has already said it won't fund schools that have virtual learning. The district hopes vaccines and boosters will help. They hosted a clinic ahead of the first day of school.
Now, the San Antonio Independent School District expects most of its educators to be in this week, and it also has 900 substitutes that it can use just like that at a moment's notice. But that's a different situation from the one that we're seeing at Northeast ISD. Last week, that district did not have enough substitutes to fill in for all the teachers who were absent. The district says that parents can volunteer or register as a substitute. Now, Northeast ISD does have a temporary pay rate increase through June of this year. You can see those rates there on your screen. The district is also offering bonuses for people who work on Fridays. And if you see that and you're interested, we have a link for you on KSAT.com. So now I have a question. Do you know of any nurses who need work? Because the state is sending about 400 healthcare workers to our area, but our mayor and the county are saying that's not enough. They're asking for additional nurses. So coming up, we're going to take a look at our local universities and asking this very important question, which is, are people still signing up to enter the healthcare field? That story will be coming up in just six minutes.
A somber return to campus after a crash that killed 2 Johnson High School students. The crash remains under investigation tonight. The Bexar County Medical Examiner not releasing the students' names, but friends and classmates are dealing with a loss.
I think children often cope in different ways. They might not say anything. They might be very upset. So that's one of the hard things, is just trying to figure out where each student is and try to provide what that particular student needs.
The counselors are being offered to students. The 2 juniors were killed in a crash on Bulverde Road Saturday afternoon. The other car involved had a mother and her daughter inside. They were taken to the hospital. The cause of the crash still unknown. It's still ahead on the Nightbeat. We're talking at-home COVID tests. They're hard to find. Something happening on Saturday, though, that's designed to make them more accessible.
Also, how many want to get on the front line? You know, this pandemic has highlighted just how important nurses are, but are enough students signing up for nursing school? Well, we're going to go to local universities to answer that question. Up next.
Plus, a local post office turned crime scene. Investigators are now hoping a $10,000 reward will help lead to an arrest. How you can help. Next on the Nightbeat. This is what it looks like live right now on the scene of some breaking news tonight. Firefighters responding to a fire at an apartment on Dean Penill near Wurzbach Road. It's near the medical center. One person taken to the hospital with smoke inhalation. 12 units impacted by the fire at this apartment complex. Firefighters say flames went through the roof. A cause is still unknown. You can see they are going in, making sure they're putting out hot spots there, but it looks as if this fire is well under control. But again, this is a live picture from the medical center area of an apartment fire that is under control, apparently out. We'll continue to monitor the situation.
Now, in other news, investigators are zeroing in on a local post office after someone broke into several post office boxes. So this happened at the facility that you're about to see on Perrin Beitel early in the morning on January 6th. Someone broke into several boxes, but investigators are trying to figure out exactly what that person took. So they've been talking to customers who were affected, and anybody with information that leads investigators to the burglar could get 10 grand in reward money. If you can help, you could call the number on your screen. It's 877-876-2455.
COVID exhaustion. With COVID causing so much burnout and illness in the healthcare field, the question arose, will fewer students actually choose to go into nursing? The Night Team's Courtney Friedman checked in with the deans of 2 major nursing schools in San Antonio, and what she found, both encouraging and inspiring.
Austin Chapa graduated from Churchill High School in 2017, knowing he wanted to be a nurse. The pandemic hit in the middle of his studies, but seeing employee burnout and illness hasn't scared him away.
It comes down to making a difference in people's lives. It's really important. It's really self-fulfilling.
Turns out there are a lot of compassionate, driven people out there like Chapa. We checked in with both UIW and UT Health San Antonio nursing schools to compare applications before and after the pandemic. UT Health's applications have doubled from 258 applications in spring of 2020 to 596 for fall of 2021. UIW seeing so many applications, they've begun enrolling more students.
In January, in the last 2 weeks, we started a brand new class of 93. That includes 25 students in our new accelerated program for people who have previous degrees. A year ago, we were probably admitting about 62.
The dean of UIW's nursing school, Holly Castle, says if they could find enough faculty, they'd increase it more. Part of the capacity also lies in the same issue seen at UT Health San Antonio.
That our students do go into clinical settings and engage with patients in hospital settings and community settings. And because of the pandemic, those opportunities have been restricted in some ways.
Cynthia O'Neill is the Associate Dean of Undergraduate Studies at UT Health San Antonio School of Nursing, saying that's why the program capacity of around 330 students a year has held steady.
We do have some really compelling stories of students who have lost parents or grandparents during the pandemic.
It's really amazing that people are willing to accept that challenge and to pursue their goals and careers despite of the pandemic and how fast things can change.
The positivity of these young nurses creating hope for a society in much need of healing. Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
All right, so let's talk COVID tests now because they're going to work differently soon. Starting on Saturday, health insurance companies are going to need to cover over-the-counter COVID-19 tests. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services says that private insurers are going to be required to pay for 8 tests every month for every customer, and that means covering the cost up front or through reimbursement. The strategy is meant to make at-home tests more accessible, but the problem is some people say that when they go to the stores, there just aren't enough tests. So if you're looking for a free COVID-19 test, we're about to help you right now. Just grab your phone and use the camera right there because you can scan the code that you see to the right side of your screen. That's going to guide you to several sites. And by the way, we know that more sites are going to open this week, including one tomorrow at the Yates Community Center. It's a lot of stuff. We know that. And we also have a list for you online at ksat.com.
Did you have a good weekend?
Fabulous.
I know, you were out and about, traveling around. By the way, this is a live look at the Pearl this evening.
So
still
pretty.
lit up, does look very nice. And the temperature's more seasonal. It's about time that January acted like it.
This is true.
Oh, we've been up and down, and we'll continue to go up and down in the days ahead. Now, we started today with a little bit of a chill in the air, but pretty close to average for this time of year with a morning temperature of 43. Then we topped out at 60 degrees, which is just 3 degrees below average for the day today. We made it into the 60s south of town, Pleasanton 65, Carrizo Springs 64, and even Del Rio, the warm spot around here at 68 for the high. But I want to point out morning temperatures, there will be a chill in the air for several mornings. I mean, tomorrow mid 30s, Wednesday upper 30s, and then we get into Sunday again, we'll be in the 30s. But we're not anticipating a freeze again anytime soon, not within the next 7 days. We'll come close a few times, as you saw, but not quite there. All right, let's talk about rainfall and a little disturbance that's in our atmosphere. Take a look off into West Texas. Significant cloud cover being thrown our way. And even throughout the day today, you see just over the past 12 hours, some green and blue on the radar screen indicating the potential for some rain and even some snow in the higher elevations. Problem is, air was too dry and this activity was evaporating before it hit the ground. Everything in West Texas, that was pretty much virga today, with the exception of around El Paso and in southern New Mexico. But this upper level disturbance here, that counterclockwise spin, helping to give the atmosphere the necessary lift to get the clouds and then some precipitation going. Problem, though, as I mentioned, the air is just too dry. So it's a little misleading looking at the radar screen across Texas today. Look at the dew points. I mean, we're talking near 10 degrees out in West Texas and even single digits around Alpine and Marfa. So the air was too dry to really be able to sustain those raindrops, and so it all evaporated. And whenever we get those upper disturbances, we get hopeful for some showers, especially since we really need the rain right now. But unfortunately, it was just too dry out west today. But what about us as we get into tomorrow? That upper low is going to be moving across Texas. It's going to be giving us significant cloud cover throughout the day tomorrow. We'll have some peaks of sunshine, but I think more gray than blue in the sky. And notice our futurecast indicating some showers possible along I-10 north and west of San Antonio there, mainly in the hill country. We think the futurecast is actually a little aggressive with this because our air is going to remain very dry. So I think we'll see some sprinkles here and there, especially north of Highway 90, but not a whole lot to show for it. And we could use it, obviously. Bexar County, San Antonio, abnormally dry. You get to Dimmitt, LaSalle, McMullen counties. We've got the drought in place. 80% of Texas is in drought. Rain chance is not looking good, though. Just that 10% chance tomorrow, mainly just light sprinkles, especially north of Highway 90. And that's it. All right, we talked about it. Today we made it up to 60 for the high temperature. Right now we're in the 40s, even 39 Rio Medina, 47 Bulverde, Canyon Lake 49, and Stinson right now at 52 degrees. And as we get into tomorrow morning, we're anticipating most readings in the mid to upper 30s. Kerrville 35, 36 in San Antonio. Then by the afternoon, we make it into the 50s, so running below average tomorrow afternoon. Again, more gray than blue in the sky, some sprinkles here and there, and then that's it for rain chances. Warming into the 60s by Wednesday, low 70s Thursday and Friday, and then a weak cold front for the weekend.
Man.
Up and down.
And we continue the up and down ride. Thanks, Adam.
Yeah, too bad things they never looked up for the Spurs. I got to tell you, there's one word that I think when I see that game, that performance, rough.
Yeah,
it was rough.
The whole road trip was that way. You had the COVID, and then you had the injury to Jacques Landale, and then now this. And I'll tell you what, there's a point in this game where I think I remarked to Steve, who is that guy?
Yeah.
It was one of the guys they signed.
Number 28. That's what you said.
10-day contract.
I don't know.
And they needed bodies tonight because, they played an overtime game and lost the day before. When we come back, more about the Spurs. And things are looking up. They're headed home, right? The Johnson Jaguars have a new head football coach when we come back.
As far as I know, I'm the head coach of the Texans right now and moving forward with that.
That was David Culley's response and asked if he's still the head coach of the Houston Texans in Big Board Sports. But first, short-handed Spurs down 7 players tonight, looking to snap out of the 3-game losing streak against the Knicks in Madison Square Garden. Joshua Primo makes the most of his 3rd straight start. Game tied at 17. Primo hits a triple, and the Spurs go up by 3. Then final minute of the quarter, Lonnie Walker IV comes up with a steal on the inbounds pass. Bryn Forbes drills a 3 ball. San Antonio leads 26-23 after 1. Second quarter now. DeJounte Murray gives the Spurs their largest lead with his layup plus a foul. San Antonio goes up 35-29, and then a little later in the half, Spurs down 4. Murray steals the ball away and finishes with a two-handed jam as San Antonio trails 51-49 at the half. Third quarter, Spurs still keeping pace thanks to Murray. He scores 3 straight buckets, including the 17-foot step-back jumper. San Antonio down by 4, but the Knicks counter with a 5-0 run from R.J. Barrett himself. He gets the floater to fall and draws the foul for a 3-point play. Now New York leads 82-75 heading into the fourth quarter, and they put it away early in the fourth with a commanding 18-2 run that opens up a 23-point lead. The Spurs lose their 4th straight game, 111-96, go just 1-6 on their 7-game road trip.
Stick with each other, be confident, and move on. And some of these losses that we had, like on this road trip, will turn into wins as we get guys back and they, stick with each other.
All right, back home for 7 straight games at home, starting first with the Rockets on Wednesday.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
Dallas Cowboys host the San Francisco 49ers in the NFL wildcard weekend this Sunday at 3:30. That's after the Niners upset the Rams in Los Angeles. The Cowboys swept the NFC East with a 51-26 rout of the Eagles in Philadelphia. In that game, Dak Prescott set a new Cowboys single-season record by throwing 5 touchdown passes to give him 37 on the season, breaking Tony Romo's old record of 36 set back in 2007. And even though the Cowboys had 1 extra game this season with 17, Prescott completed that feat in 15.5 games, just like Romo. Cowboys also set an NFL record with the most players to catch a touchdown in a single season at 22.
To get that record is cool. I mean, I think that says a lot about a team. Just to have that many guys score touchdowns is impressive. But honestly, none of it matters now as we look forward and we move forward to what's to come.
And what's to come is their old rivals, the San Francisco 49ers. That's after the Niners are able to upset the Rams in Los Angeles on the final day of the regular season, 27-24 in overtime. That's after Jimmy Garoppolo was able to find Jawan Jennings with his touchdown pass to tie the game at 24-all with just 26 seconds left. And then after kicker Robbie Gould gave the Niners a 3-point lead in overtime, Ambry Thomas hauled in the game-sealing interception. The win put the 49ers in the playoffs at the 6th seed, moved the Cowboys up to number 3 after Arizona's loss to Seattle 38-30. As a result, the Cowboys avoid the Cardinals in the first round, won't have to face Green Bay until the NFC Championship game. Here's how it stacks up on the weekend coming up. Eagles and Buccaneers first at noon, 49ers and the Cowboys Sunday at 3:30. Then on Monday Night Football, Cardinals at the Rams. First round bye goes to the Packers. Johnson High School has a new head football coach next.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
After finishing with just 4 wins in their 2nd season in a row, the Houston Texans can now focus on the offseason, starting first. They're trying to trade Deshaun Watson before free agency begins in March and trying to figure out what they're going to do with the draft with the number 3 overall pick. It is head coach David Culley's belief that Davis Mills has what it takes to be the Texans' future starting quarterback. But the big question is, will Culley himself return as the head coach of the Texans after going 4-13 in his first season? Culley was asked what he thought of his first season ever as a head coach in the NFL.
I enjoyed every minute of it. Learned a lot of things, like I said before earlier, in that coaching manual I had to go through that wasn't in there, but that was okay, and I was told that was going to happen. But again, from start to finish, I mean, each game was different. Always something new happening. That was a learning experience for me. But for the most part, I just kind of used all the experience that I've got working with all the different head coaches, that all the situations they've been through, and I end up having to go through a bunch of those, and I just kind of use the stuff that I've learned from them to handle those particular situations.
All right, congratulations to T.P. Miller, has been named the new head coach of the Johnson Jaguars, a former Jags defensive coordinator, promoted to head coach and athletic coordinator after Mark Soto left the Jags after 2 seasons to take over as head coach of his alma mater, Judson High School. Coach Miller making the announcement today on social media today, telling us it is a prestige honor. In a letter addressed to the Jaguar Nation dated today, he said he was thankful for the opportunity to continue working with first-class student athletes, parents, teachers, and administrators. And in the college football playoff national championship game, look how tight this is. Georgia's taking the lead now midway through the fourth quarter, 19-18 over Alabama. And congratulations to former Ravens.
Wow.
Perfection.
That's the way to do it.
Nice. Thanks, Greg.
We'll be right back.
That's it for the Night Beat.
See you tomorrow.